everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today's guest I haven't talked to in a while. Too long. Please welcome all the way from Florida, Jonathan De La Rosa. How are you, John?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing very well.
Yeah, you're looking great in the pictures I've been checking out lately.
Thank you. Yeah, been working hard as always,
So as we speak, today is the 24th. This will probably be up in a couple days, but we're 11 days out from New York
11 days.
New York Pro in Tampa, Florida, by the way.
Yeah, a little strange, but it is what it is. It's still the New York Pro.
How far? You're in the Boca Raton area, right?
No, I'm about 45 minutes to an hour from Boca. I'm further south, so I'm closer to Miami.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how far is Tampa from there?
About 3.5 hours.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, Florida's a big state.
Not a bad drive. It's an easy drive.
Yeah. So I guess the first question I got to ask you is, rather than the show being canceled, it is going on, which is an awesome thing. I know you would have really liked to have had it at the Westchester County Center, which doesn't like most of your family live within like a 10-minute drive of that place?
Yeah, they're all right there. Yeah.
But New York.
I'm fortunate enough that a lot of my family is coming into town to watch and continue to support. A lot of my friends, and there's some people that can't make it, of course, but shameless plug for Steve Weinberger and the IFBB. Make sure that you guys go and buy that live stream. They're doing a great job with those things today.
Yeah, I mean, the live stream, it might end up reaching a lot more people that way anyway, I'm thinking.
I mean, look, I think it's taken a little too long for us to get here. It should have been happening for a while, It's good to be back on a larger platform rather than just, Muscular Development, obviously, the various media outlets have done a great job covering our sport, but I think this allows us to grow, a lot exponentially, if we're putting more eyes on what we do as bodybuilders,
Yeah. So 2020, crazy year for everybody.
Yeah.
I want to know, what were your plans for 2020 as far as competing? Was a New York Pro the show you were going to do from the start?
Yeah. I started dieting for the New York Pro in January. And once the pandemic hit in March, we were pretty sure it was going to get canceled. So sure enough, it got canceled. We pulled back on the diet, pulled back on cardio, and just kind of was waiting to see what was happening. I think we went like 2 months with no news of any shows. And then we got a little bit of light. The New York Pro was going to happen at sometime in June or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that got canceled. So then we pulled back again. It was just like, it was a constant like roller coaster for us. But, again, shout out to the IFBB League and Steve Weinberger, Tim Gardner, all these promoters. I can't even mention them all, but that are doing their best to follow the guidelines, keep us healthy, keep us safe, and give us a platform and a stage to compete on. I mean, this is what I love to do. So it's been a long year, not being active, obviously I've been very, very blessed to be training with Flex Lewis in a private facility where I continue to train. But it's not the same, it's not the same, when you have that end goal in mind,
Right. So I got to ask you a little bit about the gym. I know he shuts down the gym from 12 to 2 every day so he can train, and you train with him. I'm wondering, is it just you and Flex, or is this like a whole posse of bodybuilders training together?
No, it's just Flex and I. The gym is completely closed.
Wow. How did you score that deal? Because, man, there must be a lot of people that want to train with Flex Lewis every day.
Of course. Well, Flex and I have been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously through the sport. And several years ago, we had spoken. I was planning on moving to Florida with my ex-wife at the time.
Yeah.
And that all happened, and the plans fell through. But then after I was on my own, I was like, I'm moving down, and he was like, well, if you actually do it, we're gonna start training. I said, okay, cool. So a few weeks later, I ended up packing my stuff and moved down. And he was like, hey, like, are you here? And I was like, yeah. He was like, get your ass to the gym, let's train. And we've been doing it every day since.
Right on. So that was, you moved down there end of 2018?
Yeah. It was October 2018.
Okay. So it's coming up it'll be 2 years pretty soon that you've been down there.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, someone who's grew up in the city and everything, New York,
Yeah.
How's the adjustment band? Do you like it down there a lot?
It's, I mean, it will take something very large and catastrophic for me to want to move back to New York.
Okay.
I miss my family, I miss my friends, and my nephew's been pulling at my heartstrings and really, really made it difficult for me not to want to head back. But, you know, selfishly, it's the first time in my life that I've been able to put myself first.
Yeah.
And, obviously it's paying off, with my career. I've had a really good year last year, and we're going to continue that trend this year at the New York Pro in 2 weeks. So,
Yeah, let's talk about, 2018 was a horrible year for you, obviously,
yeah,
personally, professionally,
yeah,
but, it was a great story because you turned it around so well in 2019.
yeah,
You'd won a show before. You won the Chicago Pro in, like, was it 2016 or something?
yeah,
But
2016 or 2017. I don't know. It was a while
last
ago.
year, you won it twice? No. But yeah, last year you won Toronto. I was up there with,
Right.
you won that, and then Puerto Rico Pro,
Hmm.
two pro wins. So now you have 3 wins under your belt.
Yeah.
Did last year the the fact that you won the shows, did that give you a new confidence, a new sense of, I can win these shows. There's no reason I can't win all these damn shows.
100%. I think there's a lot to be said about making the sacrifices that we need to make to be the whatever chosen field you are. Sometimes you're gonna have to sacrifice some things, and um, I sacrificed time with my friends and family, but in the long run, and now looking back, there was a lot of distractions.
Mm.
Um, my sole purpose when I was, married was to be a provider, to, you know, give that person the best life that I could, and so on and so forth. And your it's not a responsibility for me because I love what I do, but like your dreams, your goals, your aspirations kind of take a back seat. And
Yeah.
moving out here, I tell everybody it's kind of like my own little Kuwait, right?
Kuwait.
I'm serious.
Well,
It's
you've been to Kuwait, so you actually make a good analogy with it.
right, right. Well, and the reason why I'm saying that is in Kuwait we were just bodybuilders, no wives, no distractions. It was eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep, train. And in moving out here, I don't have any family. Flex is pretty much the only person I know here. He's got a family of his own. So I don't, outside of the gym, we barely ever see each other. I mean, we hang out every now and again, but he's got a daughter and his own family. I'm not taking him away from that. That'd be very selfish of me to even ask that. And I moved here for a purpose. I moved here to be the best bodybuilder that I could be. And we've been making incredible strides, Neil and Flex and I, in doing that. So, um, it's been a tough road because again, as I said, I miss a lot of the comforts, right? Your family, the familiarity of where I grew up, and the people that I was around all the time. But at the same time, I know that I could never look back in my life in business, in relationships, or in bodybuilding. For me, right now, is the only thing that it matters. And look back at my life and say, man, I should have given it more.
Well, you know what? You were doing what's quote unquote the right thing.
Yeah,
I listened to your interview with Jose. Very good. Jose's
thank you.
podcast is awesome, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I think everyone's freaking catching on to that already. But
Yeah,
you talked about how your dad raised 4 of you kids, and that was his purpose in life: provide for his wife, provide for his kids, work
right.
hard. And then you told the story about the elevator. How long did you work as the elevator service guy?
About 5 years.
I had like I almost
Four
had
and a half.
nightmares about it. That sounded like the worst. I'm sure it paid well and benefits and everything, but man,
I was
I can't imagine as a bodybuilder doing that for 5 years.
well, and the thing is like, you know, for that long that amount of time that I was doing it, I was doing well. I was competing in the amateur circuit. That's when I turned pro and stuff. But I always knew it was like, man, I'm getting into the gym and I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was at a disadvantage because some of these guys were just doing what bodybuilders should do: eat, sleep, train. This
Right.
is they took it very seriously. It was their job. And I always knew that I wanted to be one of the best in the world. And I knew that continuing in that field with all the great benefits and perks of being an elevator mechanic and being in a union, I knew that I would never reach where I wanted to reach.
Yeah.
So yeah, I stepped away from that and continued following my dreams. As I've, somehow, some way, I always find a way to just keep getting after it.
Yeah, I'm not going to harp on the elevator thing, but the thing that really got to me was, what do those engines weigh? Like 1,200 pounds, 1,400
Some of
pounds?
them are, yeah, 1,200. Some of them are, I mean, you can't even, I wouldn't be able to hoist them up myself. Some of them you need to get a crane to just lift out because they're
I
just
don't know
so
how
heavy.
you did any of that by yourself. We're talking about 1,200
Well,
pounds.
I had a mechanic with me that would, it was basically a two-man team. So we'd have to like literally put it on a dolly, like,
Oh,
and step by step,
dude.
sometimes 40 flights of stairs. It's,
Oh, dude. I've moved like a refrigerator up like 2 flights of stairs and I'm dying. I
no
cannot
joke. Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless you, sir. But
Uh,
get back to Flex Lewis because
yeah.
you've heard the expression "you are the company you keep,"
Yeah.
and he seems like if anybody in this sport has got his shit together, it's Flex Lewis.
Yeah.
In the gym, with his business ventures, with his
Yeah.
family.
Mhm.
Would you? What kind of influence has he been on you? Do you feel like you're a more productive, more motivated person because of knowing him?
Well, first I wanna preface this by saying that I've trained with incredible champions,
Yeah.
and Victor Martinez and Juan Morel and Akeem and a bunch of other guys that I've had the privilege to be around and train. Um, but putting yourself around someone who um, is just so on top of his game, and literally was the best in the world at what he did. It elevates you in many ways. Just the way you think about the way you think about bodybuilding, the way you think about business. Um, I've learned so much from him. Now him and I are the same age, and you know, I I can't imagine that I'd be where I'm at today without the help and knowledge that him and Neil have provided.
Yeah. As far as Neil, Neil's been your coach now for about
2 years now.
2 years. It's been 2 years,
Mhm.
but the whole time you've been down there, right?
The whole time,
Now you've had other coaches. I'm not going to ask you to rate him against the other coaches, but
yeah. Yeah.
why do you feel he's been the best coach for you? Because otherwise you would have probably moved on to somebody else by now if you didn't feel he
Yeah.
was good for
Well, I
you.
mean, I felt like I was on my last leg, and I know this is silly to say because I'm young
Yeah.
or relatively young, but I felt like just so emotionally and physically beat and destroyed from not having reached a lot of my potential, the dreams and goals that I had set for myself so
Yeah.
long ago, and Neil could attest to this. One of the first few days that I was at the gym, and he walked in. He was away when Flex and I first started training, and then he came back from wherever he was, and he asked me what my plans were, and so on and so forth. And I had been kind of mustering up the confidence to ask him to work with me because at that point it seemed like nobody wanted to give me a shot.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, just because a lot of people knew I was in a really bad emotional state.
Mhm.
My head wasn't right, and of course nobody wants to take on somebody who's not going to be able to perform at their best.
Yeah.
So I don't blame anybody for that, but I knew that if the best shot that I would have was to be working with somebody that was going to be close to me and be able to watch over me almost daily.
Yeah.
So I went to Neil with tears in my eyes. I was like, "Look, man, I've failed myself,
Mm.
and I need to get this back on track.
Yeah.
And I think you're the best guy to help me do that. Since you're here, you've obviously made champions out of multiple people, and Flex Lewis, obviously, William Bonac, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, look what he's done with Alex Cambronero, incredible physique there. I mean, it's just so he's an incredible coach. Um, but I think the biggest difference is that, you know, he and I knew that there was like an immediate understanding. He was almost in tears when I finished my whole "I need this more
Yeah.
than you know" kind of thing, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, I'm gonna do this with you, but I need to know you're 100% with me, and you're gonna do whatever I say." And
Mm.
I gave him my word. And anybody could ask Neil when he asked me to do something. I say, "Yes, sir. I'm getting it done."
Mm.
Um, it's not, yeah, okay, I'll do it, or damn, I don't want to do this, or can I have a cheat? No. I told him just yesterday, Neil said to me, you know, my biggest, I think my biggest problem in previous years working under anybody was that I would do too much. I would overdo cardio. I would overdo my training. I wanted to give so much. And sometimes you got to have somebody to pull the reins back on you a bit, you know? So just yesterday, Neil had to remind me, like, hey, you told me you'd do everything I'd asked you to do. And so we're about 2 weeks out, and he gave me one of the best compliments that I've had in a while. And Neil's a tough guy to get a compliment out of.
Yeah.
But he was very excited at our check-in pictures yesterday. Said that this is the best I've looked, and he's very excited for the New York Pro. But we've still got 2 weeks, and he wanted me to have a high carb day today. And I was hesitant because I do look very good.
Yeah.
And when you're in that mindset and you're in that struggle and you're just like, fuck it, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, you don't want to stop, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I mean, he's just on it, man. He's a great coach, but more importantly, I think him and I have developed a friendship that will last longer than bodybuilding, you know, long after that.
So have you worked with him for a few shows now. Have there been times where you didn't, he made suggestions like that, like have a high carb day, and you're like, dude, I don't know. I mean, are you at the point where you trust him because you've seen
100%.
things that you thought were not going to work, and then you woke up the next day and like, oh, I guess Neil was right.
100%. He tells me what to do and I just do it. That's it. Yeah. There's no questioning it. I'm not sitting. Like 2 weeks ago, he was like, all right, I just need you to take the day off. And it was supposed to be a training day. And I was like, oh, shit.
No.
Right.
No.
But it was like, oh, man. But he told me, sit your ass on the couch, don't move, eat your meals, and let your legs rest. And I did that. The next morning I woke up, and sure enough, exactly what he said would happen. I mean, I just can't wait to get on stage.
It sounds like, when did you do the interview with Jose? That was almost 2 weeks ago now, right?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah. At that point, I listened to it, and at some point you said something like, I wish I had more. I'm not going to look as good as I want to look. And I'm like, what? I said, this guy's still got like 3 weeks. He's got Neil Hill in his corner. He's going to be fine.
The thing is that I set a standard for myself. You know, I don't compete for anybody but myself. I don't care what the judges have to say. I don't care what the fans have to say. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Honestly, this is for me.
Yeah.
And I felt that I wouldn't be bringing an improved package. It wasn't that I wasn't going to be good.
Yeah.
I think I'm one of the best in the world.
You are.
I want it to be lights out. I want to get on that stage and just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And in the last 2 weeks, those things have changed dramatically. So I'm very happy with that. But I couldn't. I thought I would be just as good as I was last year, which I wasn't happy with.
Yeah.
I wanted to be way better.
Yeah.
So now things have, started to really change, and I just, like I said, I keep saying I just can't wait to get on stage. And it's been really cool. Like me and Patrick Moore and Max Charles, some of the guys we've been having this back and forth stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of camaraderie there. I wish those guys the best. I mean, we're all going to be on stage battling, but it's like I said, the New York Pro is coming to my backyard, and I'm taking that shit.
Yeah. I mean, you've come so close. I remember you and Sergio in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those nail biters. Like, nobody knew what was going to happen. And I think they had you up. The last comparison, I want to say it was like 10 minutes long, just you two.
Brutal, yeah.
Same poses over and over and over. I'm like, oh my God, just make up your minds, judges. Come on.
Yeah.
To come that close. Was it did it come down to like 1 or 2 points? It must have.
Yeah, it was 1 point.
So, you must, that's 3 years ago. You must really, really want this now. You must.
Yeah. It's, again, as I've always said, and all the New York guys can attest to this, the New York Pro is our little mini Olympia. It's a very important title for us to have. And now that I'm in Florida, I mean, most people will think like, oh, well, he's in Florida, but it's still something that's really important for me to have.
Yeah.
And I think this will be the year that I get it.
Right on. So I think your best look that I've seen personally from you, and I haven't been to all your shows, was
Yeah,
Toronto last year. What's
yeah.
your favorite look that you've ever had on a pro stage so
The
far?
week before in Puerto Rico,
Oh, okay.
I felt,
Oh,
and Neil feels the same way. We were harder in Toronto
yeah.
and drier, but a little bit. We pushed it a little bit too much,
Mm.
flattened out a little bit, so we didn't have that pop.
Hmm.
In
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, it was like I was hard, full, and dry. It's such a good look, and I just felt like $1,000,000. Like I went out there and I knew like this is mine.
Yeah. Were they only a week apart, those two shows?
They're only a week apart, yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't know why I thought Puerto Rico was like
We
later
went
on in the year.
to Cheesecake Factory, and Neil said, "Okay, get whatever you want." And I said, "Okay." I got steak
Yeah.
and white rice. And he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "I got another one to win, bro."
Mm.
So we
Wow.
kept going, and you know,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, when you say flat, I mean, how many other people would have really been, other than you and Neil, because you have so much mass and you're so
yeah,
thick and full. Does anyone else notice other than you and Neil when you're not
yeah.
quite
I
as full?
mean, no, nobody really knows. And now Flex does as well. Victor
Yeah.
knows when I'm a little bit flat, and Juan
Mm.
knows. But yeah, I've been blessed with a little. I'm very thickly muscled, but when I'm full, I'm like really round and bubbly, and it's
Mm.
a really cool look.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm pretty full most of the time, anyways. I have a really hard time getting flat, but I can notice a difference. Neil notices the difference now, and Flex, and all the guys that are close to me. So, but I don't think that I was extremely flat and stringy. It was just
A little
I
bit.
just prefer the Puerto Rico look. That's all.
So to put it in perspective, because I remember a few years ago, people were talking about, oh, Jonathan should do the 212 division. Like, you
Yeah.
idiot. Do you even know what this guy weighs? Back then, I think you were competing around like 230, 235.
Yeah,
What do you,
that's
what do
too
you,
dirty.
what do you think you're going to be in New York? Any idea, roughly?
I'll probably be about 238 pounds,
Yeah.
240 pounds.
That's a great look for you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited. Like I said, I've made the improvements that I I'm gonna display the improvements that I wanted to display, which is exciting for me because I feel like, and I don't want to come across cocky and pompous because that's not, anybody that knows me knows that's not who I am. But
Yeah.
I just want to fucking stand next to William Bonac and Hadi and Dexter and get a fucking look. That's it. Just give me the
Yeah.
fucking look,
Yeah.
and you will see that I carry just as much muscle. Yeah, some of those guys are maybe more conditioned and have that denser look, but just give me the fucking look, man. That's it. That's all I want, and I think this year I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying for years,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy should be up with whoever was
And
at the
and
top five at the time.
that's partly my fault though too, because I haven't really nailed it in the times that I needed to. Like even at the Olympia last year, I was 240 pounds on stage, and I looked good, but just another pound or two, and I could have squeezed into that top 10. I mean, I got beat by I think two or three guys there that should not have been in the top 10, and then were just because there were names,
Yeah.
and it kind of sucks when you go through that because it's like you know the top 6 or 7 are gonna be called no matter what they fucking look like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's shitty because it's like there's guys that are working really fucking hard just to look, man. I would have been over the moon if I just got the opportunity to stand next to any guy that's my height.
Mm.
If you look at the lineup that I was in, it was Cedric McMillan that was right next to me.
6'2".
Yeah, it was Luke Sandow on the other end, God rest his soul, God rest his soul, and Patrick Moore.
Mm.
All guys that are way taller than me,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, if you look at the video, I smoked those guys.
Yeah. It's
Cedric was off. Patrick was in very good condition, but very small and lanky. Not lanky. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Just
he's got
he just
long limbs.
he needs
He needs to fill
he
out.
needs to fill
You know
out.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Luke was also off.
Yeah.
Yet I placed behind all of them.
Yeah. The Olympia is tricky, man. It's
Yeah,
really tricky.
it's so it's like I just, like I said, I'm excited to get on stage this year and show an improved package and hopefully get the looks that I deserve. That's all.
So let's move on to some other news, other good news. You're with a new company.
Yes,
I
sir.
interviewed these guys just a few days ago, Dorian and Noah Hamilton out of Burlington, Ontario, Canada. So
Hmm.
they own a gym, Pure Muscle and Fitness, and they started their own supplement company right before the pandemic hit,
Yeah.
which sounds like this story would have a horrible
Yeah.
ending, but
Yeah.
somehow they've been able to thrive during the pandemic. The company grew and they've got an excellent team of athletes.
Yeah.
Yourself, geez, I got to read
Yeah.
this
So,
list. People don't even realize
yeah.
how crazy this is. Where did I put my list? Geez. Dorian Hamilton. Okay, so they have you, Quentin Araya, Antoine Vaillant, Keon Pearson, Steve Lorius, Breon Ansley, Jeremy Potvin, Ricky Moten. Wow. That's like a
Hell of
company
a
that's been
lineup.
around for 20 years would have a stable like that. They've been
Yeah.
around for 5 months.
Yeah.
So how did you first meet the Hamilton brothers or Dorian? How did you become part of the company, Team HD Muscle?
So Dory and I have been talking for a little while. The company that I was with previously, they were going through some hardships. This was before the pandemic.
Yeah,
I won those two pro shows. We were renegotiating the contract, and it was not working out. So I had been looking to move on.
right.
And Dorian had approached me and showed interest, and I was talking to several other companies. But I've known Dorian a long time, actually longer than I actually remembered. He
Wow.
remembered when he was competing,
Yeah.
and I just offered some advice to him in a very friendly way, I guess. It's just who I am, and I was very excited for him and just very supportive of him. And I guess that always stuck with him. I don't, I don't even remember it. Um, but that's what he
I'm sure
remembered.
you've forgotten most of the people you've helped. There's been so many.
Yeah,
I know that's the type of guy you are.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like when he brought that up to me, I was like, wow, I had no idea. But he was like, you've always been a stand-up guy, and it would be an honor to have somebody like you on our team. And I was like, shit. I mean, I turned down contracts that were a lot more lucrative for me to be with a company that number one, I believe in their products. I believe in what Dorian, first of all, Dorian and his brother are great dudes.
Yeah.
They are stand-up guys. So I know that the products they're going to put out are going to be good. They're going to look out for people. They're not going to put out shit products that they're just going to shove down people's throats and make their money. They're putting out quality products, which is number one why I stand behind it. But again, they're great. They're great guys. So they're putting out good stuff. And I want to help. I want to be a part of that. I want to see them grow. I want to see them become even more successful than what they already are, because they're crushing it, man. They're doing really good.
Yeah. Have you been up to their gym, or have you been able to with the traveling?
Unfortunately, with the traveling restrictions, I haven't been able to know. But as soon as the travel restrictions are lifted, I will be visiting. I mean, I had to sneak into New York to see my nephew 2 months after he was born.
Wow. You can
Yeah, it
sneak into.
sucks.
You're not. No, you can go to any state, but then you're supposed to stay there for 14 days.
That's the problem. I
Yeah.
can't, I have my responsibilities back at home with my two dogs. I can't leave them for 14 days alone.
True.
So it sucked.
So one of your dogs is named Flex. I assume after
Yeah.
Flex Lewis. Is the other one
No,
named
Flex
No?
Wheeler.
Is
Flex
it Flex
Wheeler.
Wheeler? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What'd you name the other one?
Taz.
Taz?
Yeah.
Is that a Tasmanian Devil, or do you have a friend named Taz?
Yeah, well, it was Tasmanian Devil. He was like super rambunctious when he was a baby. So I was like, all right, well, he's like a little devil running around. So I called him Taz.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man. So you're looking great. What's your
Thank
Instagram
you.
so everyone can follow you?
IFBB John Della Rosa.
IFBB John Della Rosa.
Yeah,
I'm
JON. Yep.
JON. Yeah,
Yep.
not JOHN. And
Yeah.
I still come back to your last name. Is there a space in between De and La Rosa, or no?
It should be two spaces. De la Rosa.
So like three words.
Of the rose.
Okay.
Yeah,
Rosa is actually pink, isn't it?
well,
De La
the
Rosa.
rose would be, yeah. But the thing is like I said, some people put a space after de, some people put de la together and a space. I just tell people, look, do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't. I don't take offense to it. I don't really care. It is what it is.
As long as the bank lets the check clear, it's all
that's
good.
it. That's it.
Man.
And God knows we need some more of that coming in because this pandemic has destroyed business for me, man. Oh.
Yeah, I heard that because obviously, if you work coaching people, especially for a contest prep as your main gig, it's a
Yeah,
tough year for.
I lost about 80% of my clients because of it.
I mean, I don't want to take this stupid vaccine. Now, watch, everyone's going to kill me for saying that, but
no.
If that's what it takes to get the world back in order, and so we can all get back to business, I guess inject me.
You ain't getting me to take that shit.
No, come on, it's
no way.
Just because there's been no human trials. Come on now.
No, man.
You might grow an extra arm or something, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, anyone that knows you really, really roots for you and wants you to win this show.
I appreciate it.
I want you to win every show you're in, but this one in particular, because
this is a big one.
How many New York pros?
This is a big one for me because I felt, I mean, there again, I just feel like it's been a long time coming, number one. But I put in the work. And I'm not just talking about like physically. All these guys are working hard. I know Patrick's busting his ass. I know Max is busting his ass, and every other guy that's competing is busting their ass to get this win. But I put in a lot of work with the mental approach to this game. The physical approach, obviously, the emotional approach to it, that you almost have to detach yourself emotionally to what people say, to what people's opinions are. Like, you just need to like know that you're good enough, do the work, and whatever people are going to say or think that, I've heard, I get tagged on this shit all the time. Like, oh, who's going to win New York Pro? Patrick, Max, whoever. And before that stuff would be like, fuck, man, like, not that those guys don't deserve to win, but it's like, I feel like I'm one of the best. I feel like I should best them. And when you see negative comments like, oh, John doesn't deserve to be up there, John isn't tall enough or whatever bullshit. It's like, before that used to affect me. And now it's like, all right, motherfucker, I'll show you. That's it.
Yeah. See, to all the fans out there, it's great to support your guy and be a fan of your guy, but there's never a need to knock his competition.
No.
Just be supportive of the guy that you want to win.
Absolutely.
You don't need to talk shit about the other guys. The best physique's going to win anyway.
Well, I think the culture. We're getting way off topic here, but the culture that we now live in. One, people feel emboldened behind a keyboard or behind their phone.
Absolutely.
Whereas when I grew up, you had a problem with somebody, you say it to their face, and you get dealt with. I mean, shit. There's kids out there that I see them talking to their mom. I'm a 36-year-old man, and they're cursing at their mom and calling them a bitch and all. My mother would whoop my ass till this day at 36 years old. Like, you gotta have, like, there's just no respect. There's no, everybody, I don't know, man, the world we live in today is so different. And just,
we don't want to condone violence, but there's something to be said for when someone knows that no matter what they say or do, there's going to be no consequences.
Crazy.
Then they just turn into this horrible brat.
And to think that you're going out of your way, like, to just try and hurt somebody with your words. Like, what kind of person are you? Like, it's just stupid, Yeah, it's rude. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
this conversation you go.
Yeah, let's turn away. Yeah. I want to know, how many times have you competed in New York Pro? Do you know?
Every year since I've been a pro, but one, so it's about 9 times.
Wow. Okay.
I've never placed out of the top 5.
Could this be the 10th time, you think?
This is the 10th.
Oh, this is the 10th. Okay. Well, perfect.
Right. Well, 10th time's the charm.
If it was 9th or 11th, I honestly would be a little worried, but 10th has a really cool. John De La Rosa wins New York Pro on 10th attempt. No, because you turned pro like in 07?
No, 2011.
11. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's probably been, if you've done it every year since then.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if this is the 10th time, which we're going by your word.
No, it should be 8, actually. It's 8 because I missed 1 year. I've been a pro this is coming up in my 10th year. So it's about 8.
Okay, still, you've certainly made many attempts at this title. So it'd be,
And like I said, looking back at it, not ever placing out of the top 5 was pretty fucking cool too. You know, the New York Pro is always a stacked show. So
absolutely. And I mean, I can remember all those years, you know, top 5, it'd be, because they only call it, they get everyone else off the stage and it's like top 5 or top 6. And you've always been up there.
yeah,
And I've always been like, I've been waiting and waiting. I want you to be the last name called. And it'd be like, in 4th place, John De La Rosa. Like, ah,
yeah,
in 3rd place, Jonathan De La Rosa. Like, ah,
yeah,
so,
yeah. I've had 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. I'm all over the map there.
please God, if you're listening.
Yeah.
You gotta win.
Well, me and Neil are working hard. I mean, the check-ins are every day now, and changes are happening daily. We're very, very excited. We're doing our best, and you know, big shout out again to everybody who supports bodybuilding today. You know, in this really strange time we're living in, and the people that are buying the live feeds and stuff. I mean, it's really. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and all the other bodybuilders that I've spoken to that competed in Tampa, and that was a success for them. But thank you guys for supporting bodybuilding and you know, continue to support us. It's our dreams to do this, and without the fans supporting it and buying the live streams, obviously you guys can't sit in the stands today, or it's very limited capacity. Even the guys that are buying tickets, thank you guys, and we appreciate you guys.
You know, I'll speak on behalf of them. I'm a fan. On behalf of all the fans, thank you and all the other guys who've been prepping, because everybody I talk to, nobody has done like a standard 16-week prep, and that's it's worked out. Some people have been prepping for 6-8 months. It's been like a whole year waiting to do one damn show, and this show got postponed, this one got canceled, and you know, it's anyone out there who's prepped for a show knows it's a pain in the ass anyway, even if you know exactly. But to do it and not know for sure, is the show going to happen? Is it going to get pushed back another month or 2 months? I don't know. You guys you've had to be mentally stronger, you pros, this year than any other year in the history of the sport, because this year's been nuts. So, you know, thank you guys, thank you and all the other guys for pushing through this crazy year, because any pro this year could have said, you know what, 2020, no, I'm just gonna sit this one out.
And I know a few that have just said, you know what, it's too uncertain. I'm not going to do the things that we need to do to get ourselves into that, you know. So and there's nothing wrong with that either. Look, I mean, the guys that chose to say, you know what, I'd rather wait, more power to them. I'm just super excited that we have the opportunity to get on stage. So again, thank you to Steve and Jim and Tim Gardner and everybody that made this possible, man. I'm super, especially that's the New York Pro. I'm like super excited, and I just can't wait to get there, man, and show the world what I've been working on for the last over a year now. I think Olympia was in September, close to a fucking year.
Yeah, I mean,
close to a year.
Let's thank Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
Also, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Ron.
Florida don't give a fuck.
No, since moving to Florida, I got like 13 guns now. I got all types of crazy stuff.
Don't you get a free revolver when you fill up, get a tank of gas, don't you? Oh, that's Texas. Awesome. That's Texas. That's not Florida. I'm all mixed up. It's a very different place.
Yeah, it is. I enjoy my freedom here. I enjoy it. It's a great state to live in. It's the Sunshine State. I wake up and it's beautiful almost every day here. It's serene. It's beautiful, and I really enjoy Florida.
There's a reason. If you're from the East Coast, anywhere like, you know, Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, you go down to Florida, you meet a lot of people from your area.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Well, and there's been a mass exodus from New York with everything that's going on with, you know, Governor Cuomo and de Blasio just destroying New York. I think it was like 400,000 people since this pandemic that have come down to Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shame on you, Cuomo. Shame on you. You're losing your citizens.
Well, now they're begging people to come back, and shit. Once you come live down here for a little bit, you're like, I'm not leaving, but I'm not going back.
Okay. I always said I'll never live in Florida, but who knows? We'll see.
It depends on where you move to. Honestly, like where I live, it's a young community. I know a lot of people have this misconception, like, that's where old people go to die.
Well, a lot of them do.
A lot of them do, but depends on the community you live in, where you live. Like I'm closer to Miami, so it's a very young crowd here.
Yeah.
Further up in Boca, there's a little bit older, but more money, and so depends on where you go.
Right on. All right. Well, we'll discuss Florida real estate some other time. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, John, I'm psyched to see you on stage again, especially at the New York Pro. I think I've been to every New York Pro that you've competed in. I'm pretty sure.
You're always there. Yeah.
I want this to be the one, dude. Please.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
You, Neil, Flex. It's going to be a party, man. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for taking the time, John. Appreciate it very much.
Course.
Shout out to your sponsor, HD Muscle, of course. Coach Neil Hill.
Thank you to Dorian and Noah and the whole crew over there. Yeah. If you guys also, I wanted to mention, if you guys need an interview, I don't know if you want to do an interview the day before the show.
Of course we do.
I'm going to be getting in on Friday, so just reach out and let me know what's up.
Yeah, we'll be there. We're all coming in Thursday, my whole team.
Okay, cool.
You met Hector before, right?
Yeah, of course. I know Hector.
Shout out to Hector Mendoza.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude. I love Hector.
Yeah.
All right. So I will see you a little over a week in Tampa, Florida at the New York Pro.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Ronline Report with this man, Jonathan De La Rosa. You'll see him on stage very, very soon. Hopefully with the hand raised up at the very end with the check and the trophy and all that good stuff. Meantime, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.